After the last song. The bar smelled like whiskey, sweat, and old guitar strings. It was the kind of rock and roll dive where a stage was barely a foot off the ground and the walls sweat with decades of bad decisions. I came from the music, loud and dirty, alive. The band had just finished their set and the crowd still buzzed like a live wire. That's when I saw him. Jackson Gray sat at the end of the bar like he owned the room without even trying. Even out of the spotlight, he was unmistakable. 6'2" of muscle and ink, leather jacket slung over his broad shoulders and blonde hair slicked back to show the sharp lines of an undercut. Tattoos crawled down his forearms as he lifted his glass. When his blue eyes found mine, the noise in the bar dulled to a low hum. He looked at me like a man who had just found his next favorite song.
I played this bar 100 times. It was my refuge. No cameras, no handlers, just music and cheap whiskey. Then she walked in and shifted the gravity of the place. Sophia moved like she trusted her body and knew exactly what it did to people. Tall and athletic, with her dark hair falling over bare shoulders, curves that pulled my attention and held it. When she caught me staring, she didn't flinch. She held my gaze and took a slow sip of her drink. That was invitation enough. I slid onto the bar stool beside her. You stayed after the set. That means you either loved it or hated it. Her dark eyes dragged over me.
Loved it,
she replied.
especially the part where you stopped pretending that you weren't watching me.
A grin tugged over my mouth. I'm terrible at pretending.
Up close, he was fire and confidence. His knee brushed over mine and stayed there, deliberate. Every nerve in my body tuned into the contact. You always this direct with women? I asked.
Only the interesting ones.
The air between us thickened. The band started another set, the bass vibrating through the floor. Jackson leaned in, his mouth close to my ear.
I want to watch you dance,
he murmured. It wasn't a request, and I didn't want it to be. On the floor, his hand settled on my hips, strong and sure. I pressed my back against him, feeling the solid line of his body, the way his breath hitched when I rolled my hips in time with the music. His grip tightened, a quiet warning of what I knew was coming for me.
You're trouble,
he said in my ear. I smiled. Huh. I'm not trouble, darling. I'm hell in heels for a sinner like you.
Dancing with her was friction and flames. She moved like she meant every touch, every glance over her shoulder. When I turned her to face me, the tension snapped tight. I kissed her. I was rough and hungry, the kind of kiss that erased the room. Her fingers dug into my jacket, pulling me closer. I tasted whiskey and heat and something wild that made my pulse pound. When we broke apart, her lips were swollen, her eyes dark with want. My place, I said, voice low. She nodded once. Decision made.
The ride to his apartment was a blur of charged silence and stolen touches. By the time the door shut behind us, restraint was a thread stitched thin. He backed me against it, mouth crashing into mine. His hands roamed with intent, mapping my body like he planned to memorize it. I answered with equal hunger, nails scraping lightly over his shoulders, feeling the tension in him coil tighter as he found the throbbing bundle of nerves between my thighs. I watched him take the slickness of my need for his own as he touched his fingers to his lips and whispered,
You taste like honey.
Every kiss burned. Every breath was shared. We moved through the dark, guided by instinct, shedding layers of hesitation alike. His voice was rough in my ear, murmuring things that sent heat spiraling low into my stomach. I met him word for word. The air between us was thick with desire and the sharp thrill of two strangers choosing this moment without apology. The world narrowed with touch and sound, the slide of skin, the hitch of breath. We moved together in a carnal rhythm that had me undone as he slipped inside and pounded away at my inner drum. It was intense and consuming, a collision of want that led no room for anything else as we climaxed together. He spilled into me with a pulsing warmth that left me feeling erotically accomplished. He was definitely a job well done.
After, we lay tangled in the sheets, panting as the city lights painted shadows across her olive skin. Her head rested on my chest, her fingers tracing idle patterns over my tattoos. The bar's music still echoed faintly in my ears, but it was her steady breathing that grounded me. "One night," I said quietly. She tilted her head up, a slow smile curving her lips.
One perfect night.